What's good, everybody? This episode of the podcast is sponsored by DistroKid. They are the go-to for digital music distribution and the easiest way for musicians to get their music onto Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, TikTok, YouTube, and more. They offer unlimited uploads, and artists keep 100% of their earnings, getting your music onto platforms and into stores 10 to 20 times faster than any other distributor. They help with cover song clearance, automatic splits, and they offer all kinds of tools and templates to help you get the most visibility for your releases. I dig this company and appreciate their business model that offers more features and tools than any other distributor while doing it at the most affordable price for solo artists, bands, DJs, studio artists, and any other creators that are making music or producing music in their home, and they offer label services as well. They've got 3 different tiers that they offer to creators that start as low as $22.99 a year. That's just $1.92 a month. And even their top tier is only $7.50 per month. And the best part about DistroKid sponsoring the podcast is they are offering Dan Cable Presents listeners 30% off their first year of service with DistroKid, making their affordable prices even cheaper for you. I will put that discount link in the episode notes. It will also be in my Instagram bio. Big shout out to DistroKid for sponsoring this podcast for more than 3 years now. Much appreciated. Now let's get into the episode.
Look down at the
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dan Cable Presents podcast. Thank you for tuning into the program once again. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking out the show. You can find fresh episodes coming at you on Tuesdays. And if you want to help support this thing in a free way, you can do so by clicking subscribe on iTunes, clicking write a review, giving the podcast 5 stars if you feel like it is deserving of so, and that will help propel this thing into the tops of those iTunes charts, giving it more visibility on the national and international levels, helping strangers find the podcast, and a great way to, just contribute to the growth and the sustainability of this thing. Appreciate the hell out of all the folks that have already taken the time to do so. If you're not listening on Apple, just hit like, follow, subscribe wherever you are listening from. Tell a friend about the podcast, maybe. That's always a very helpful thing. Hope everybody is doing well out there, keeping your head above the water. Very hyped to share this week's episode of the podcast, episode 466, a chat with Shardell Dues, the owner and operator of a rippin' pizza spot in Northeast Portland called Red Sauce. I had so much fun hanging out with Shar and hearing about her background in pizza and how she ended up opening Red Sauce Pizza a decade ago. I feel like Shar operates and just kind of moves with such confidence, and the way that she does things and even in the way she talks about her pizza journey just feels like it just comes from a place of confidence. And the food that she is making at Red Sauce is absolutely banging. If I lived closer to Red Sauce Pizza, it would be a problem for me. Not only do they have multiple styles of killer pizza, but they're also making these hoagies over there that they're making the bread for. And I had one of those Italian hoagies the last time I was over there, and I haven't stopped thinking about that sandwich since I left there. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about both pizzas I had. I had the tavern style, the Mel special over there. It's got the jardiniere on it, thin cracker like crust on that tavern style pie. What a beauty. What an absolute beauty. So, just very honored and stoked that Shar was down to chat it up with me. She's got such a warm presence, and she does a lot for the community as well via fundraising and just showing general support. So I urge you to go over to Red Sauce and show some support over there. Pay a visit. It's off Fremont and 45th in Northeast, like I said, and it's kind of near Grand Central Bakery over there. And she just loves making pizza, and you can tell when you go get pizza there that the person running the spot loves making pizza. So yeah. Go check it out for yourselves. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan. I came into this conversation as a fan, and then after having the conversation, I'm an even bigger fan now that I've gotten to know Shar a bit. Also, a running theme of the last couple episodes, Chef Mel from over at Sandwich here in Portland, Oregon, is mentioned again in this episode. She is a friend of Shar's. That's why there is a Chef Mel special over at Red Sauce, that tavern style pie. So shout out Sandwich, shout out Chef Mel. I mean, she's definitely a big reason that I wanted to have Shar on this week. Also, I am throwing a show on March 31st over at Alberta Street Pub. It's a stacked lineup with a bunch of incredible bands. Girlgoyle, Byland is coming down from Seattle, and Isabeau, Vaiu, Walker, and the Noise Boys. It's only $10. Ticket link is in my Instagram bio. The show starts at 7. It's over by 10. We're getting you home early on a Tuesday night. You know, we get it. It's a Tuesday night. It's March 31st. I would love to see some of you there. So come through, and all the links for Red Sauce Pizza will be in the episode notes. This is episode 466 of the Dan Cable Presents podcast with Shar, owner, operator, and chef at Red Sauce. Now let's do the damn thing.
I know. Sometimes, too, people ask questions, and I'm like, I don't even know. One question is when people ask me to describe our style of pizza, or it's like, you know, it's
yeah.
That's hard for me to do because I don't know. I feel like we're not in this like little box of we're not Neapolitan, we're not New York, we're kind of a Neapolitan.
Yeah.
But yeah, some questions are just hard for me to answer, but I try my best.
Yeah, it's like asking a band like, "Whoa, where'd you get your band name from?" And it's usually
Yes.
not that interesting in it, like of an answer, so I just like I don't ask.
Yeah.
Unless it's like some sort of alias, then like sometimes I feel like that it can be a little more interesting, you know?
Yeah, and for me, it's like, too, sometimes these questions, I was so busy just trying to get something open and not run out of money that the name and sometimes other stuff just was, like, not important to me as much as I think some people. And in hindsight, I wish maybe I would have paid a little more attention, but we're still here 10 years later, and...
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the important thing is that you're like making banging food, you know?
Yeah, and to me, yes, the food, the employees, that's more important to me than anything else.
Yeah. Well, why don't you start off by describing the type of pizza you guys are making? I'm just kidding. It also seems like you're like, even you describing something like it probably changes a little bit over time. Like you weren't making tavern pies. Like that's like a newer addition to the menu, you know? So it's not like that was like a part of the initial vision, right? It's like being open to...
And sometimes I feel like my vision of just being open was so difficult because of just a plethora of things. I bought an existing pizzeria. I bought Bob's Rocket Pizzeria that had been around since, I think, 70-something.
Was that when you were on 42nd?
Yes.
Okay.
So I bought Bob's Rocket Pizza, and, you know, this pizzeria wasn't for sale. I went into the shop and convinced these people to sell me their pizzeria, you know, like a used car salesman. Like, hey, it doesn't look like you're interested in what you're doing anymore. How about throwing it my way, you know? And it took a while to convince them they wanted to be my business partners, and I was like, no, like. And then I found out they were going through a divorce, so it was even more underlying stuff that I did, you know, I wasn't really aware of. But so I bought this place, and they were supposed to like just have the equipment there for me, and it was just fully like they made pizza and walked out one night. So, you know, the lines are still full of shit. It was just chaos. They had actually had an oven fire. They didn't disclose a bunch of stuff. So I basically, you know, paid them $60,000 for nothing.
Yeah, you basically bought a car with a salvage title.
I basically bought their restaurant to clean out like an episode of Kitchen Nightmares, like on their worst episode. Like, we're talking fridges filled with standing water and rodents, and just like my mom thought I was fucking nuts. She didn't say it, but I think she was like, Shardell fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she actually lent me some money to purchase, you know, to start my own business. So yeah, you know, that was like number one of I'm signing I've got a 5-year lease with these guys, and I just kept pushing through, and ultimately to the point of, are you going to sell me the building or am I moving elsewhere?
Yeah.
And then thank God I didn't buy that building. Just so much. No grease trap, no hood. You know, I was operating a restaurant with no grease trap and a hood from 1971, and 3 pizza ovens that I had to keep closed with a little whittled piece of wood. I was the only one doing all the prep and working at night.
Yeah.
And so it was just like kind of 5 years of that, like operating as like kind of like a not real restaurant. Like, you know, our floor was uneven. We had our front counter was, you know, my family's bar when they were kids. It was just like, it wasn't really real, you know. And the pizza was good, but it wasn't the pizza that we're making today, you know. And then
Purely because of like equipment, you feel like?
yeah,
was a
and
big
just
part of
like
that?
environment, like we didn't even have a real HVAC system in
Yeah.
our old building, or like any way to like control the dough. Our mixer was just this little 20-quart, you know, counter mixer. So a lot of things.
Hard for you to be maybe even proud of the space a little bit?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. I mean, from just like the condition of the building and the landlord and just everything.
Yeah.
Even my pizza oven, I had bought it off eBay. It wasn't even configured to the right electricity current, and it was just crazy.
Yeah.
I was doing crazy things, and I was running. Luckily, you know, we were always still busy. We've always been able to sell pizza, you know. Like even being across the street from Pizza Jerk.
I was just going to ask you about that. About
shit.
What that was.
Everything even said or written about us was, you're across from Pizza Jerk. And it was just like, you know, I've been making pizza since I was 18. I have so much pizza experience and baking experience. And so that really was just like annoying to me, that every article that mentioned me was like right across the street from Tommy Habits, who's not actually even making their own pizza dough. And, you know, like, it's like, it was just like crazy to me. Not only was I dealing with that, but I also had left a Pizza Shoals 2 years prior to that. And they were really upset that I was opening up my own pizzeria, and they tried to sabotage me with the health department. They called the health department on me, and they were also upset that I was like making bacon for Scotty's Pizza, and it was just really like, really? Like, I'm on the other side of town. I ran your business for 5 years. They've since apologized for it, but it's not really, it wasn't really a real apology.
Also, it just feels crazy. Like this city is like proven to be able to support multiple spots, you know, like multiple
Yeah.
locations of like specific, like whether it's like pizza or sandwiches or like,
Yeah.
like if your food is good, people will come.
Well, yes, but this was also 10 years ago. So, you know, it wasn't like it is today. You open up a pizzeria today and like so many even publications are welcoming, encouraging, you know, it wasn't really like that 10 years ago. It was like a Pizza Shoals manager opens up a pizzeria across from Pizza Jerk.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and then Pizza Jerk was named like Pizzeria of the Year and all this stuff. And it was just like, dude, they're literally not even making their own dough. How is this possible?
Yeah.
But that is the restaurant industry for you. It's full of smoke and mirrors, and it's actually just such a scam.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you did kind of like, so that was 10 years ago that you opened that initial location?
Yeah.
Like 2016?
yeah,
So that, yeah, I do remember that kind of being like, that was the time where Pizza Jerk was, you know, always in the conversation of like,
yeah,
this is one of the best spots. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always enjoyed that pizza at that time. I think like other things came to that I found later, like maybe surpassed
Well, it's totally different now.
that
It's-
situation.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so many pizzerias now, you know, not on that street.
Yeah.
That street you know, when we moved, you know, hopefully that was better for them, like
Yeah.
on both of our parts. But as far as quality and getting a slice, you know, it's kind of like Escape from New York. You know what I mean? It kind of reminds me of like an old school slice.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's like even I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the like OG Portland pizza spot that is on Burnside, across from Powell's.
Oh, Sizzle?
Sizzle Pie.
Yes.
Like, I imagine
Yeah,
that
they are
at
pretty-
some point, like, I had a friend in town recently, and he was staying in that neighborhood, and it was just kind of late, and I was just like,
Yeah.
cool, we'll go get a slice from Sizzle Pie. I was like, this is by far not my favorite pizza in the city,
Yeah.
but I think it's, like, decent.
Yeah.
And when we were sitting there eating the pizza, I was kind of like, I imagine at some point in this city, like, Sizzle Pie was known to be, like, really incredible pizza in Portland, Oregon, you know, because there like wasn't a whole lot of other spots. And now all these like amazing shops have opened.
Yeah. Well, they were too like the punk rock, devil worshiping,
Yeah.
you know,
The cool pizza boxes that they
Yeah,
would do for
and-
bands.
and lots of vegan options.
Yes.
You know, Sizzle Pie, it feels like their empire is just sort of collapsing.
It's getting smaller and smaller. It
Yeah, I
feels like,
think
you
some
know?
of that had to do with how quickly they expanded labor practices. You know, they're gonna get a manager, put him on salary, work him to death,
Yeah.
and then another pizzeria is gonna scoop him up and pay more and not, you know,
Yeah.
not have 5 locations. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's, you know, it's weird. Whenever I see there's another pizza place open, I'm always just like, everybody just wants to make pizza. Everybody wants to open up a restaurant. I think it's wild.
And now that we're like hailed as a pizza city a bit and got some notoriety.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've got like 10 pizzerias that are just outstanding, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
I used to say 5, but you've got your, you know, regular staples in there, and then I think you've got some newcomers that can definitely go in and out of the list.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, I like all forms of pizza. I have 2 nephews, so sometimes we get Papa John's and we just kind of doctor it up a little bit.
Hell yeah.
I'm not a pizza snob. I definitely have like my favorites, but pizza is just so approachable, you know? It's and here we've got such a, you know, we've got our cheap pizza, we have our expensive nice pizza, and there's everywhere in between.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like the last affordable meal. I say that questionably because you know, food costs are so crazy right now.
Yeah, I mean, even slices aren't like.
Yeah, what is
the
a
way they-
slice? Some people are charging $6.
Yeah,
So okay, yeah.
yeah. I feel like you can still maybe get a slice of cheese for $4 at some spots. You know,
Yeah.
good old baby doll.
Yeah, baby doll.
That's
I love
one of my
Baby
ride
Doll.
or dies in the city for
Yeah.
sure, especially like when it comes to slices. I think that was the first pizza place I like fell in love with in this city and will
I like
still like
Baby
go
Doll.
hard for.
Yeah.
But you don't do slices.
I did for like 2 seconds, and sometimes I do that. I do things without thinking. It was, yeah, I'm not set up for slices, and I think that's the issue. If you're not set up,
Yeah.
you will never like doing slices.
Yeah.
And when we opened up for lunch, I tried to do slices. I tried to do slices when we moved originally we moved to this space, and I had someone put slices on the window, and I had to chisel it out, and everyone was getting all pissed off, and it's just like people just love to get. People are so critical of small businesses more than they are Starbucks. I swear to God. But yeah, I've tried the slice game. I don't like it. It's not for me. We're doing like a really good single topping small lunch special instead.
Yeah.
But I do love the slice. I just don't think I'm ever a slice shop unless I like specifically opened up a slice shop. You really gotta commit to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, tell me about your like where you grew up and your early entry into the pizza game.
Okay, that's a good question. So I'm from Portland and Vancouver. I've lived here my whole life.
Oh, okay.
I did go away to Boise, Idaho for college for like 8 years. I went 8 years because I kept taking so much time off and coming back here and working at a pizzeria. My first job was at this place called Buck's Pizzeria. It used to be a chain around Vancouver.
Okay.
And then I got a real pizza job at this place called Vancouver Pizza in downtown Vancouver that had actually been there, I think, like 20 years. And I worked there off and on for maybe 6 to 8 years. And that was like my first love of pizza. I remember getting hired. I was so pumped. It was just a bunch of kids. 2 older girls were running it. And it was just rad. It was like punk rock pizza. I ended up becoming a manager there and going through like 2 different owners who I taught how to run the business. Like they bought a business they didn't know how to run. Like how wild is that, you know?
Yeah, it is crazy that those situations happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that place lit on fire. I remember one night I was at the bar and I went home and I got a call from my boss like, the place burned down. And she was like, it wasn't you, was it? And I was like, she said that jokingly. And I realized why she said that jokingly because I remember I was running the ovens like the prior Friday night and I got all pissed off and I was like, I could burn the building down. I said it jokingly, but then what happened was they had a dryer in the back of the building and somebody used too much bleach and like one of those stackable washer and dryers, and the dryer spontaneously combusted and just blew up the whole fucking place. And then what happened is they like got insurance and kind of paid us the insurance that they got, and they were having us do like community events like painting murals and doing all this stuff, and I was just like, this isn't like we're being paid pennies to like being like strung along as employees. And so anyway, I quit and I worked for this other place. It wasn't Buck's Pizza. It was something else. I worked for another pizza. I just kept going from pizza place to pizza place.
Yeah. That's so funny that place burned down after you said that though. It's like, careful what you wish for.
Yeah. It was just like, and I was like 20, 19, I was very young. I was 21 because I was at the bar. So
I got my car stolen on a pizza delivery.
Oh shit.
And it was almost a similar situation where I was like, man, I wish somebody would steal this fucking car so I can like get out of this lease.
Yeah.
And like I was just like in a really bad situation for some reason with this car that I had and like owed a stupid amount of money on it. And I was just like, I wish somebody would steal it. And I don't know, in the suburbs that I grew up delivering pizza in, a lot of times I would just I would leave the car on because it would like be in
Absolutely.
sight, run to the door, drop it off, get back in the car. And yeah, I took a swing in an apartment complex, went around the corner to the building, and I just heard screeching, and I was like, I think that was maybe my car. And then I went back out, and my fucking car was gone. It was incredible.
That's wild.
But,
There's
yeah.
nothing like pizza delivery stories, though. Like,
My last day of pizza delivery, my first job in Portland was working at Pizzicato.
oh, shit. Okay.
And my last day there, I got bit by a dog on
Oh,
pizza
shit.
delivery. Just a small dog. It wasn't a big deal, but it was just such a funny fucking like send off to this
Yeah.
thing. It was just like, "Is your last night delivering pizza?"
Wow.
And I just like turned around, dog like to leave. Dog jetted out the door and just like bit me on the back of the leg.
Did it break the skin?
Yeah, I had to like go do like a doctor's appointment for like legal reasons and
Oh,
shit.
shit.
It was so funny.
That's a good send off, though. You're never gonna forget
Oh
that
yeah,
story. You know?
absolutely. I still have some like friends from that era of Portland that will like bring that up every once in a
That's
while. I
funny.
was like, oh yeah, what a fucking cool send off.
That is the best last day you've ever had. The best worst
yeah.
last day you've ever
Yeah,
had.
yeah,
I remember back in the day, I was delivering pizzas before we even had smartphones, and we had this huge map.
yeah.
And I draw all my pizza delivery is wild. I'm blasting the DMX. I'm like,
Yeah.
all windows are down. Who knows what the fuck else I was doing? I'd be gone for an hour delivering 2 or 3 pizzas, looking on the back of my directions.
Yeah.
I'm driving. It's just like, it's kind of crazy, like what we did back then.
Cool how much you learn though about like the map without having like to rely on a phone
Right.
and like maybe having to stop at a payphone
At
to
a
like
payphone
call
to ask for directions. Yeah.
the house that you're going
Yeah.
to, or like, man.
Now we can't even deliver ourselves, right? We have to have these third parties.
Yeah.
Unless we, like Pizzicato, have a fleet of cars.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, that was definitely an era of my life where I was smoking cigarettes too, and I would go through so many cigarettes, like one on the way back, like one on the way there, one on the way back, just
Yeah.
blasting through packs of
Yeah.
cigarettes.
yeah. I have delivering to people's houses was like the scariest shit too, or like hotel rooms. They'd be like, come on in. Or, you want some weed? You want some beers?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, are you tipping? Or,
Yeah,
like,
is the bong rip the tip? Because like I'll take it, but also it'd be sick if you like kick down some cash.
yeah, I just learned so much from that. And back then I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to start a pizzeria. Oh, I'm going to start a pizzeria. That was actually never not really my goal.
Yeah.
I only wanted to start a pizzeria because I had had such bad experiences working for others.
Yeah,
But I loved making pizza. So like at a Pizza Shoals, we were crushing it. We would sell out every night. We would, and I was running so much of it. It was like I would just take one more thing away from the owner. I was like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. I'm learning how to butcher and cure meats and like make sourdough. And eventually I just got to the point where I was like, I could be making money if I did this myself, and I would do this and this and this so differently. And how do I get there?
Yeah.
But
was a Pizza Shoals the first pizza spot that you worked at that was at like a higher level, or just dealing with better ingredients and maybe better processes around making things? Or
yeah, it was the first pizzeria I ever worked at where, Brian Spangler from a Pizza Shoals is like a dough god.
Okay.
And what I learned from him was he was my mentor. He was, even just watching him handle the dough, I was like, whoa, we're not just like balling dough. You're like, you're handling something just like with a lot of life in it. Before that, I was never making dough with any sort of pre-ferment. It was always something that had sugar added or, shortcuts. And I had actually opened up a pizza restaurant with 2 people that had no idea what they were doing. And that situation went south, and I saw that a Pizza Shoals was hiring, and so I went in for an interview. And the owner's wife, Kim, goes, oh, you can't do the ovens, you're too short. I was like, oh, well, I've worked at tons of pizza places. I could definitely do the ovens, And it wasn't anything, it was just kind of, she's very vocal. It was just like, you know, she just kind of blurts out what she's thinking without really thinking. And man, I started there and it was just like every little thing. Like for a year, I would watch Brian shape the dough and he wouldn't let me touch it. I just had to watch him shape it. And I was like, hey, let me get in there. Let me shape this. And then, you know, and then I got my hands on that and just little things like that to where I want to know how to do this. I want to master this. And it was just like one thing after another to where basically I wasn't the GM there, but I was running the entire operation. So, yeah, that's where my love for like sourdough ignited and just baking in general. And being able to learn from Brian it's amazing. He's one of the most, I would say, charismatic people that you'll meet talking about dough. He'll just blow your mind because he's like a scientist and he knows just the in and outs of it. And I'm just such a hands-on person that, you know, I was able to go there every day and just take what he learned, what he taught me, and just learn how to make sourdough. You know?
So I know you mentioned earlier that you weren't necessarily like looking to open up a pizza place. You just like stumbled on that Bob's spot.
No, I had quit a Pizza Shoals and I wasn't like, I'm quitting here to open up a pizza place.
Okay.
I quit there because it had gotten terrible and it was just like, I was trying to get something to change there, but I couldn't.
Are we just like work environment stuff, or do you feel like the food was like falling off?
No, the food was fantastic.
Okay.
It's really hard to work for two alcoholic people in chaos. It's
no
really,
doubt.
really hard. It's really hard not to have structure. And I think what topped it all was, you know, I was running it. They'd be gone for months at a time, going to Mexico, you know, on vacation. And they would come back and they would nitpick after we had sold out for every night.
Yeah.
About the smallest little thing. And I was just like, whoa. I was just like, wow, this is toxic and this isn't for me anymore. So I gave notice in hopes that they'd be like, no, don't quit. But they were like, yeah, I think it's time for us to take back the kitchen. I'm like, whoa, okay.
All right.
So then I go and work at New Seasons in a grocery store, and it was horrible. I learned a lot about meat, and I met a lot of cool people, but I had a manager that was just out for me, and we had a really horrible relationship. And you know, I'm number 4 on the totem pole of managers in the New Seasons meat department. So I'm getting the night crew to like clean off the meat debris on mats. I'm filling out the meat grinding logs. It's not exciting. You know what I mean?
You're not there making pizza.
No, I'm in the meat department.
Okay. All right.
Cleaning up meat shit, you know? And then I just like networked, and then I had found that could be a possibility that you should ask to buy the pizzeria because they act like they don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what prompted all that. And then everybody at New Seasons was like, who's this crazy girl that thinks she's just going to open up a pizzeria? Because I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to open up a pizzeria. I'm going to give my notice soon. And they were all like, yeah, sure. Okay.
They just have no idea what your background in pizza and all the time that you've like
put into the
game.
I don't really think anybody really understood. And then, you know, I bought Bob's, and then a funny Tommy Habits comes walking up to the meat counter and he's like, oh, we're both opening up pizzerias. And in that moment we realized how far away where each location was, and we kind of looked at each other like, oh fuck, you know.
Yeah.
But 2 coffee places can exist by each other. 2 pizzerias can exist by each other. It actually, you know, people that were coming to the neighborhood that had probably heard about them could find out about us because we had a way better sign, the upside down pizza sign. Like, you know what I mean? The best advertising that ever lived. That was not my idea. It was actually Bob of Bob's Rocket. In 1971, his advertising genius idea was hang it up upside down so people ask me why my sign's upside down and they're coming in the building, you know?
Yeah.
I found that sign in the garage cleaning out, they had gone through a couple different owners before I had bought the place. And I was like, why would you take this down? This is genius advertising.
Yeah.
So we hung it back up to like tell the neighborhood we're trying to get back to that originality of Bob.
Yeah.
You know.
So you open up this spot, you got all this experience, you've worked at a bunch of different places, including like one of Portland's like, you know, maybe one of Portland's more respected places in a Pizza Shoals, still a spot where like it's hard to get in there.
Yeah.
What did you carry over from all of your experience? Like what was your vision for Red Sauce? Like what did you want to do and what did you not want to do that you had experienced?
You know, it's really hard to say 10 years later and just being so rushed, I feel like, in everything I did back then. I really just wanted to make pizza and be able to pay my bills and have a few employees and put out a really good product.
Yeah.
It doesn't always turn out that way. I didn't want to run it like I had learned how to be a pizza maker. I didn't want to be the kind of person that I had learned from Brian because he's also very intense and also just if you've worked there, you kind of had to go through this like initiation. Like if you burnt a pizza, it was thrown on the ground and you were really like punished for it. And now, like, it's like hazing. You know, we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually, that's not a functional way to treat your employees.
Yeah.
And if you did that now, you'd be called out for it, you know, and for a lot of other behavior too. But I knew what I didn't want to do. And I think in, like, the stress and the chaos, I was doing some things like, you know, acting more intense over a situation than it should be. You know, how do you just become a boss to all these people? You know, I've been a manager before, but I've never been the owner.
Yeah.
And also, you know, my dad passed away, I think 3 months into opening, or maybe 5 months. And then my dog passed away. And, you know, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. But I had to still show up and make pizzas every day. So that was very difficult.
Yeah. Cracked open and new business and
and just and other people's emotions and also hiring a bunch of queer people in a queer pizzeria and it was just a lot. It's really hard to handle like anger and sadness and all that and still put on a good face and run payroll and act like, you know, an owner's not, you know, all my problems. None of my employees know my problems.
Yeah.
That's not their business unless I make it their business, you know?
Yeah.
And, it was just, I just feel like I was just fighting everything, you know? My landlord was crazy, you know, and just the equipment that I had. There was just so many variables, and then to have that happen was just like another obstacle, but it taught me a lot. You know, the restaurant and the owner that I am now is a lot different than I was 10 years ago too. So, I don't even remember what the question was.
You answered it. You definitely answered it. I was just wanted to know like what you kind of carried over from all your experiences, you know, prior and like what you didn't want to do with Red Sauce and maybe who you didn't want to be to your employees, you know?
I knew that I didn't want to be a Pizza Shoals. He's very much like the rules, and the rules that were then you don't really have now, right? The pandemic changed a lot of stuff. Now they do takeout or maybe you can, I didn't want to be like the pizza Nazi as some people have referred him to, which I don't really care for that term. But I didn't want to have rules, but again, I'm very much a Pizza Shoals ripoff, if you will. Everything I know is what I learned off there. So, you know, my dough is very similar to theirs. Our Caesar salad is similar to theirs. We even have one of the pizzas on our menu that are kind of plays off of what we used to do there. My first manager that I hired was also a manager at a Pizza Shoals. So, you know, when we opened up Red Sauce together, it was kind of like this camaraderie of ex Pizza Shoals employees, you know, if we will. And, but I think it's just, if anything, you know, Brian might have taken it, it was a compliment, really, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you can, and it's too, it's, you can, I can give you the exact formula and recipe of our dough, and you're going to have different variables. That's just baking in science.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew what I wanted to do and I knew what I didn't want to do, but that didn't mean I still didn't do stuff that I didn't want to do,
For
if
sure.
that makes sense.
That's a new role for you.
Yeah, like I remember being on the ovens and being so intense to the servers, and like I'd be like, I need to chill the fuck out. You know, this isn't a Pizza Shoals.
Yeah.
This isn't your last 2 pizzas in the ovens. Like, calm down, Shardell, you know,
Yeah.
but sometimes that takes a minute to get a reality check.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think helped you adapt to that role, or like become maybe the business owner / operator that you are now?
I think just going through an experience and all the ups and downs that you go through in a restaurant. Nothing is going to prepare you other than experience. And just everything that we've gone through, you know, like last summer we went through a really big turnover, and like this thing happened that like people blew into something that it wasn't, and I was really upset that I wasn't given the benefit of the doubt, and it just really, like, I was just really so hurt by it. But again, not to get into specifics, I think sometimes you just have to grin and bear it and just push through. Every day I have to push through. I have to go to the restaurant when I don't want to, when I don't feel like it. That's reality. And
Yeah.
I don't make my employees do any of that. Like, that is me. I don't ask people to do anything that I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
I think that's what's different than me and a lot of other operators. I have a lot of friends who own restaurants, and I'm always like, why are you asking your employees to do something that you don't know how to do? And it's just like, oh, it's like, why are you asking them to create systems? Are you paying them to create those systems, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get into a lot of trouble, you know? If you don't know how to fix the dough at your own restaurant, how could you expect someone else to fix it or know that there's a problem,
Right.
you know? So unfortunately, it's just like one of those things, you've got to go through it. You have to go through the depression. You have to go through the highs. You have to go through the lows. You have to dig yourself out, or you have to find somebody that you can pay to help you, like a therapist, or, man, at one point I got even hypnotized. I was going through such a bad depression. I couldn't snap out of it. So I got hypnotized, and it helped. And I was like, well, shit, you know? Sometimes I don't even know what's best for me, but
Yeah.
I'm willing to perhaps seek the answers sometimes.
I mean, it seems like you've dug deep to persevere through a lot to get to where you're at now. And like, especially all the turmoil you experienced within that like first few months of opening up your first ever restaurant, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's what people don't realize. I think even sometimes your own employees, you know, I'm a human. I'm allowed to make mistakes. You know, I have a therapist just like maybe you have a therapist.
Yeah.
I have, you know, a family that has problems. I have everything. It's just like, and it's not, you know, I've learned too that like, you know, like right now I have a group of people that I love working with, and there's no egos, and there's such camaraderie, and sometimes you have one person in there that shakes it up, and it can just make you crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just, oh, is Red Sauce a great place to work? Like, you also have to like put in the effort, or you're not gonna be a part of the system. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've learned a lot of that too, of what kind of employee I want. You know, sometimes I used to do a lot of the hiring, and I actually don't do it anymore because I'm not good at hiring. I'm just not, and I love that I know that about myself now. So.
Yeah. So you've found people that you trust
Yeah.
to take on that responsibility.
Yeah.
And then you can help shape them into what you need.
Yeah. I'm good at training, but I'm just not good at hiring. I don't know why it is. I don't know why that is.
I don't know. I think sometimes people are good at deceiving people too in interviews, and then you're like, fuck, man, I hired, I've done like a fair share of hiring over the years at different establishments, and sometimes you like think that you've really nailed it and you got this winner, and you're like, man, this person could really like be great here.
Yeah.
And then a week into it, you're like, where did the person go that I hired?
Yeah.
So I think it's tough to read people sometimes, or
Yeah, and who knows what someone's going through.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Communication is key. If I can communicate, I can work through a lot of stuff. But if I can't communicate with somebody, that's kind of the end for me.
Yeah.
And what I'm learning is to end things quicker. I always try to, give them one more chance. I'm like, hey, if it's not working, let's just fucking end this,
Yeah.
Amicably.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do, but I'm getting better at it,
Yeah.
Year 10, I'm going to be better at this,
Always be getting better, you know?
Yeah.
I asked Mel earlier. I was like, what's great about Shar, And she said that you're cool and you're kind and that you care a lot about the food, but also that you do push through the really hard parts of the business with a smile on your face. And
You've got to.
And like that sounds like what you're talking about as far as like not putting that on the people working for you too.
Yeah.
Like,
not to say that I've never done that. Like,
yeah, you've admitted that you were not the best at doing this early on.
yeah, but what I'm not going to drink a 6-pack and ridicule my employees or like try to take my personal shit out on them. And even how I correct and do like corrective action, I have like a whole policy and and every person is different, and it's just so different than I'm very professional. I take my job really seriously, and I want people to feel good about coming in the door, both as a customer and as an employee. And I think as a business owner, you have to take a not an oath, but maybe of just like always doing the right thing and always just abiding by the law, and just it's very serious to be an employer for somebody.
Yeah.
I have 10 or 12 employees now. I used to have 15. And we'll probably have like 15 by the summer, but it's difficult. I'm always like, I don't want one more employee. That's just one more person I have to manage. And I'm always like really careful, and I go back and forth of like, my role changes a lot in the restaurant too. Like right now I'm the prepper, and sometimes I'm the janitor, and sometimes I don't know. I'm the dishwasher. It just always is a different role for me.
But you're always the foundation for the composure of the people, I feel like.
I try to be.
Like I think like
Yeah.
cuz once they see you panic or you acting a certain way, like that
I don't ever
gives
do that,
them license to do the same thing, or then they start freaking out. It's like the person who is running the ship does not have control of the ship.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of restaurants, I always call restaurants a scam because they really are. And I say that because for a lot of reasons, wage theft, often done by employers.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it. There's just so much that it's like, it's just such a scam of what some restaurants sell to their customers. A lot of pizzerias in town will use the highest quality organic flour, and then they're using the cheapest fucking cheese, and they're shredding it themselves, and or they'll use like Bella Gioso cheese, like the brand, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's all right, you know. And then they're using like basil from Flying Coyote Farm, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't understand it, but I don't need to, right? I only need to understand my business and my
Yeah.
customers and what I'm selling and what I, you know, it's but business, being in business is it is kind of scammy. I'm not trying to scam anybody, but a lot of people are in various different ways. But what I've found and what I always go back to is just keep your eyes on your own paper and worry about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Not what anybody else is doing. It's easier said than done, but
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough thing to put into practice sometimes, but what do you think makes a good pizza? Like, what are you proud about when it comes to the pizza that you're making?
I think a lot of things. I think that we're always trying to do better, and we're just really consistency. You know, it all starts with the dough. The dough is the foundation of your house, you know? And I always say, whenever I go to a new spot, I always just get a cheese pie so I can taste the sauce and the cheese and the crust and how they bake it. And, you know, it's different than if you're getting a slice than if you're getting a fresh pie. You know,
Yeah.
that's going to change a lot of variables. But yes, the dough, the flour, and how you are managing your dough is the number one thing that you need to pay attention to if you're a pizzeria, right? I actually have been doing dough consulting for the last maybe like 4 years. We do pizza classes, and I was doing that for a while. I just passed that on to Bayer. Bayer is my employee who also just has an incredible knowledge and love for dough. So I passed that on to them. And pizza consulting was something that I've been thinking about for a while. You know, somebody hires you to fix their dough.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's so fun to do. And,
Yeah.
and you know, it's just like, what are you doing? I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You know, and why are you overcomplicating your life? That's usually where I start at.
Yeah.
But the thing that is, you know, the dough also is every day doing the same thing, you have different results. You know, try that on for size. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like cooking a burger, right? So in that, you have to teach your staff how to react to all those different variables. Easier said than done. But again, it just all goes back to, I know how to do it, so I can teach you how to do it,
Yeah.
right?
That's how you teach the consistency or
Yeah.
like what you want
Yeah, and
to
I
be coming
want
out of the kitchen.
absolutely, and you know what's the worst is when you really love a place and you don't get the same product. Especially, man, I'll go to some place and if it's not the same, I'm just like, fuck you. You know,
Yeah,
I might go,
yeah.
I'll still go back, but it's just like, that sandwich was my whole day today, you know, or
Yeah.
that pizza or like whatever. And
We talked about that a little bit when I came in last time.
Yeah.
Just about how what a bummer that is when you go to your favorite spot and you're like, fuck yeah, I need this today. I need this, and it's like, what happened?
I know, and it does happen. I've had it almost every place I've ever gone to. People have that at Red Sauce. People are going in, and maybe they, you know, it could even be my friend going in and they couldn't tell me that day or something
Yeah.
like that. I do have friends that do tell me, and I do appreciate that if they had a bad experience or a bad service, anything, right? Those are going to happen, but hopefully they don't happen as often as other places.
Yeah.
You know? Even the hoagie, you know, we did the hoagie back at the other restaurant, and I used to make it. I would shape a hoagie about 2 feet. And the reason why now they're just made in individual hoagies is because no one else could shape the bread. So if I'm going to get someone else to do it, I have to teach them how to do it. And when we moved into this new place, we actually took it over and all the equipment was inside, and the landlord gave it to us because the place before had to forego that as part of their lease. You know,
Yeah.
they got out of their lease, but they have to leave the equipment there.
Yeah.
And there were these tiny little bread pans. And I was like, oh, these would be great for the hoagies. And so it wasn't even my idea. It was just that the bread pans were left over, and then I used them and just got more, and it was way easier to shape and pass that on to someone else. So just little things like that.
Those hoagies are so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I feel like pizzerias often will, have some other menu items, whether it's like wings or sandwiches or salads. And I feel like sometimes it's just to maybe appease people that aren't going to eat the pizza or, maybe just something to go along with the pizza. But, working in pizza shops myself, like I remember just like kind of the shitty sandwiches that we would have, on the menu, but like people would order them, you know, whatever. But I was like pretty blown away by your sandwich. Like I was just like, this sandwich rivals the pizza. Like I will come here just to get a sandwich. Like fuck the pizza. Like and the pizza's incredible.
Thank you.
But it was just kind of I don't know. That was like a really cool experience to know that like, oh, this sandwich is not on the menu to appease anybody. Like this sandwich is on the menu because Shar thinks that she makes a banging sandwich.
Yeah, I just created the hoagie of what I wanted to eat, and I love an Italian sandwich. I would love to have a sandwich spot, but I never will. It's almost like it's very difficult to make the bread that we make. It's sourdough bread. Our pizza dough's from a pouliche, and it's they're very different. In fact, a game I do like to play off subject is I like to go to pizzerias and guess their pre-ferment, and I'm always right. They're very different. A pouliche versus a biga versus a starter. They have different nuances to how they feel and eat and look. But yeah, it's like Baker's Mark, they bake all their own bread.
Yeah.
That's very hard to do. A lot of people don't make their own bread.
Yeah. I mean, Vin at Picone's is making his own bread in that little fucking food cart. And I'm just like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or there's that dude, I can't think of his name. I think his name might be Kevin, but have you ever been to that Sorbu spot that was like near Red Sauce? Like, that dude's making bread in that little cart bread too.
Yeah, I love their sandwiches.
Crazy.
They have really good. I love the little pickles that you get on the side as well. Yeah, and like, there's a lot of little hidden sandwich. I feel like sandwiches are kind of like pizza in this town. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
But to make your own bread is a lot more challenging and difficult, and also like, think about if I had to sell as many sandwiches. Shout out to Mel. As I did pizza, I'd have to hire a baker, or another baker.
Definitely.
But yeah, I always get asked to do sandwich week, and I'm like, fuck no. I'm not even doing pizza week this year because I'm protesting against it.
All right.
I think it's a little ridiculous, but it's the way the Portland Mercury makes their money, I guess.
Yeah, creating a food week for every
It's
every
$800 a location per restaurant.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To be included in their list.
Yeah. For pizza it is, yeah. And and that's not why I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because no matter what, because we have the auto gratuity, I'll either get bad reviews because we had the auto gratuity and I'm trying to screw somebody over about
worthless reviews.
Yeah. Or it's always like, you should pay your workers more. And it's like, I already do. Most people at my place make $20 an hour from me plus gratuity. They're making like $35 to $39 an hour at a pizzeria.
Good.
And it's just like, I can't fix capitalism, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm into it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. It's just like,
yeah, like I don't know, become like friendly with Noah Bernstein, who owns Bernstein's Bagels.
Yes,
and
cool
he went that route. I don't know, a year or so ago. I know like Scott from Scotty's is doing that as well. Like I ride for it. Like people don't take care of people who work in restaurants, they look down upon that job, I think, a lot.
They do. It's. I will say what I've noticed. Another trend is restaurants charging gratuity and then taking that gratuity to pay health insurance, which I think is kind of bullshit.
That would be like under the scam column to you?
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're paying. Maybe if you're paying for their full insurance, if you offer health insurance by law, you have to pay half of it.
Right.
It's just I've seen a couple different restaurants, and I'm not, here to call them out, but I just have been seeing that, and I'm just like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be under the semi-scam of
for
employers scamming their employees, I think.
But yeah, so you just feel like the participating in Pizza Week isn't actually going to benefit you. Like it's not worth the investment.
No. It's going to have a bunch of people coming to my restaurant that will never come again. They're going to bitch at 500 things, and they're going to be mad that we don't have slices.
And you're already busy enough to sustain, right?
I mean, most nights. We definitely have our slow nights, but yeah, I guess the last year that we did it, it was just really hard to gauge. It felt like we weren't as busy. There was just so many restaurants that also were participating. I don't know. I'm not going to do it, and who knows what will happen.
Yeah.
We'll be slow, we'll be busy. I don't really care.
Yeah. How do you feel about people getting their pizza for delivery and not really being able to maybe have control over what the product that's actually being delivered with all of the outside systems to have delivery like DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever? Is it?
Yeah, it's
do you feel like that's where you're seeing a negative review sometimes, and it's the pizza was soggy or?
No. Funny enough, no. DoorDash, I fucking hate DoorDash. Our prices are jacked up 30% on DoorDash, and people still order.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I do that so that I can get my employees their gratuity, and then also so we can recoup what they charge us. I'm still losing money on DoorDash. It's just pizza, people want it delivered, right? I can't deliver it myself unless I have a insured vehicle that, there's so many variables. I don't think that's where our negative reviews come from. Our negative reviews are usually the gratuity thing.
Okay.
You didn't let me, I need a choice for gratuity, or you just put it in a box, or, you didn't tell me all these things when it's written, it's posted, maybe 10 different areas, other than, it's you should have known. We even tell you when we drop off the check, It says it on the check,
Yeah. Also, what are we talking about? How much was a pizza before you added the gratuity in versus what it is now?
Well, that's hard to say because costs have, our pizza's gone up just because of cost, but I would say everybody's pizzas have at least gone up $5 just in food costs, right?
Right.
$4 to $5.
For sure.
When we first opened, a cheese pie was $15. It's probably $20 now, right?
Yeah.
And then you put that on DoorDash, and it's $30 now.
Every time I get ready to place an order on DoorDash for something, it's pretty rare. I'll do all the bullshit, and then I'll see what the total is, and I'm just
yeah.
I'm not paying $38 for a sandwich today. No way.
Yeah. I don't order food on DoorDash for myself anymore, just because I was sort of embarrassed at how much I had used it, via my accountant the year before. And I was like, okay, that's not cool. But I do it out of convenience. If I'm having a bad day, I'm going to order Eam, what a treat, my favorite. And I'll still do that every once in a while after I take a hiatus. But yeah, DoorDash is killing small businesses. They used to not let you mark up your prices. They'd be like, hey, your prices aren't your menu prices. And I'm like, no shit, dude. How do you think people use you? But when you're doing $4,000 a week in DoorDash, you know, and I'm still getting the tips for my employees, and I've marked it up, you know, so it works most of the time.
Yeah.
But I hate them. I hate them all. But we all use them, and sometimes you have to use things that you don't like in order
Yeah.
to make your business run, you know?
For sure.
I still have to use Amazon. I'm not getting rid of fucking Amazon. I'd be running around town using companies that still are fucked up
Yeah,
anyway.
man.
So
A lot of artists, musicians can't afford to take their music off Spotify because so many
Yeah.
people listen there, like, and they need
Yeah.
like it attributes to their visibility and things
Yeah.
like that too. You know, like just got to deal with the evils every
Yeah.
once in a while.
I don't use Cisco. I use all local. I'm very like adamant about those things, you know, but those things are providing a service for me. I'm not like making money off those.
Yeah.
So, and every year I try to figure out something new that I'm going to make better. If someday I can figure out how to get off Amazon, fucking A, all right. But
Yeah.
it beats sometimes driving down to Rose's and picking up pizza wheels and,
Yeah.
you know, and I've done that too, but it's a matter of convenience for people like us, you know.
For sure.
It's get it while you can.
Yeah. Do you feel like, have you really found your restaurant community where there is like a lot of camaraderie in the food scene here? Like obviously you have your gripes with some people and some establishments, but
Yeah, I got lots of gripes. I'm a Capricorn. But I yes and no. I'm not one to reach out to others. But I definitely want to help others.
yeah.
I'm a kind of a loner, solve it yourself or call your mom kind of person.
I mean, you're doing pizza consulting, like
Yeah.
that's helping potentially your competitors sometimes.
Yeah, I
So-
know. I love helping people with their dough, and I'm like, you know, I would love to get into just restaurant consulting. You know, just for
Yeah.
pizza though. It's just like I'm good at the dough, but I'm really good at running a restaurant. I'm really good at, which is why you know, when we moved, everybody told me not to move. Even I had a job coach at the time. And he was like, Shardell, I got to tell you, what are you doing? and I said, you know, I like some of your advice, but some of your advice I don't like,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm very much, you know, I hate people's unsolicited advice, even my own mother's. It's like, I'm doing it. I'm in it. You know, you don't know. When you've gone through something, then you know the ins and outs. But I hate unsolicited advice so much, you know.
Yeah.
Never take advice. That's the best advice I can give somebody.
I think it's especially tough, like from someone that just has no idea what the logistics are of your job,
Yeah.
you know, and like the
Yeah.
operation. Like that's where
Yeah.
it can become like a little offensive at times where it's
Yeah.
just like, why would you be telling me how to do any of this?
Yeah. Well, and what I found too is so much of a restaurant is circumstantial to the environment, right? The building, the equipment, and who is there. Those three variables, I can't do the same thing that I was doing in my first location that I am in this location, right? And I can't give someone advice like if I were going to like give Mel advice about sandwich. I've never worked in there in that environment. I have no idea. You know, she's created those processes because
Yeah.
of the environment, the
Yeah.
building. And that's where I just feel like it's such an individual thing in a restaurant. You got to really get in there and see what's going on.
Yeah. Do you still have like mentors or people that you look for inspiration?
Do I have a mentor now? I don't think so. I feel like everyone has let me down. No, I'm just kidding.
Or what do you feel like keeps you motivated?
That's a really good question. I think right now my motivation is providing a good work environment for my employees, and having that be a really positive experience, and just fostering that it's like a restaurant for adults now. Like, we're not kids anymore, like smoking weed on the side of the oven, you know, like.
You're not paying a kid's wage to work there either.
Yeah,
Like,
and just a personal responsibility in both myself and my employees. What motivates me now, I think, is trying to get to a different level of stuff that I want to do. Like maybe being open for lunch every day. Like this next year, I have some goals of having a garden on our patio. I've been wanting to do that for 5 years. So, and like, I don't know what is going on, but I cannot find tarragon in this town right now. So I'm going to grow some goddamn tarragon for my salad dressing.
Hell yeah.
I love tarragon. Just little things like that. I want to really pay attention to stuff that I've never paid attention before. Little things in the restaurant, bars. I want to get different seating this year.
like that shit that you couldn't pay attention to when you first opened
I couldn't
because everything
afford
was
it.
just like happening so fast as well.
Yeah, and I just couldn't afford it. Like when I say my pizza oven was held together with a piece of whittled, it was a painter's stick. I cut off 2 inches, and that had to be wedged in the door to shut it. And I was the only one that could do the oven because we had such a shitty piece of equipment. I can't hire somebody and have them try to use this fucking shit, right? I think, just little things like that. Like I have like this fantasy mixer that I want to get, and just those things, and just improving little parts of the building. My goal is to like buy the building someday, which my landlord is wanting to do, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, just those little things that I've never had time to do. We just hung up the Pizza Hut lights.
Those are so
in
sick.
the dining room. Thank you. And that's been something like, I'm also like, I don't want to spend money on these Pizza Hut lights, when I need like a new mixer, so it's like one of those things where like, I'm finally able to do these things. I've been open for 10 years. We sell over 1 million something in pizza a year. And like, that was only with dinner. And so like, those little things, having more cash flow in January every year, I say, I don't want to get below this number. And then like finally being that is like pretty huge. Not having to worry about cash flow and just little things like that, like I feel blessed that I can pay attention to those things. You know?
Mel also mentioned that you give to the community more than most. What is the importance of you giving back and fundraising, and what communities are important for you to focus on?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks, Mel. I was just talking about this the other day. I will answer that question, but people ask of small businesses to give stuff too much.
Yeah.
Go ask fucking Starbucks or corporations. You could even ask Starbucks to like a gift card to like buy food from a small business. But I get so many asks of like gift cards and donations, and it's just this past couple years I've been like, no, that's a crazy ask. I can't feed $500 worth of free food. That's a crazy ask. And I've actually been, I'm nice about it. I'm respectful, but I'm like, do you know what you're asking for here? We're not even open during these times, and you want me to feed your, whatever. I never like opened this place like, oh, we're going to do fundraisers and we're going to feed the community. I was so busy cleaning out, rat turds in a fucked up building. I was just trying to get open. I didn't even think about giving back to the community at all. The first year we were open, a lot of different people came and were like, oh, can we fundraise for this? And the first one that did it, it was this after youth mentor program. I think it was called Rising Stars or something. And they were so nice and so cool, so appreciative, like brought me a t-shirt. And I don't know why, I loved this t-shirt. It was like, when someone gives you a t-shirt, I'm just like, this was a rad t-shirt. I cut off the sleeves and everything. And they were so nice and so respectful, and they were just like, you don't know what this means for these kids. They don't have this opportunity, and you're willing to give a certain percentage percentage of the money that you make tonight to them. And I got to meet the kids, and it was like an after-school mentor program. And I was just like, whoa, I had no idea that just hosting a pizza night would mean that much to these people, you know? And then I'd like do another thing, and it would just bring more people together, and often an organization that I had no idea about. So it was kind of a win-win. I learned that it brings people into your restaurant that you didn't know about, and you also have an opportunity to give back. So you're probably going to be busier that night, and making that extra money that you're making, you wouldn't be making anyway. So in my eyes, it was also like a good way to advertise and a good way to make a slow night busier. And then I think it just kind of took off from there, that we just tried to do one. I don't know how often. I've definitely scaled back because I've had other things that I've had to kind of do, and instead of doing fundraisers, like I'll like cater a lunch for like we're catering a lunch next month, and this was it's like homeless youth learning how to like edit film, and I was like, that's fucking cool. I would love to provide lunch for you guys, you know. So yeah, it just, I don't even know how it came about. It was like someone came to me and I was like, this is cool. I had no idea that, you know, these kind of programs existed.
Yeah.
And on the back end of that, I feel like so many people are so loose with like, I get so many Catholic schools ask, like, I'm like, you're a private Catholic school, delete. Like, I'm not giving you a gift card. Like, we're a gay pizzeria. Like, I don't think our views align. No offense, but and just too, sometimes I'm like, it's people like, we're reaching out to the hottest restaurants in town. I'm like, well, I don't know why you're reaching out to me then. You know, just like, yeah, it's just like,
it's people asking that have no context for what you do.
Yeah.
You get those like asks.
Yeah, and then sometimes people don't even pick up the goddamn gift card. I have so many that I've filled out over the years. I'll like go and look back and I'm like, you didn't even fucking pick it up?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? I love giving back to the community. I'm just very picky about who I support now, because I do so much. I can't support everyone, you know?
Yeah,
but,
as you should be. You're not like some fucking billion-dollar corporation that
Yeah.
can just like, I can write off all this, you know?
Well, it's like, too, it's everyone. Yeah, you can write. No shit, Sherlock. I've been in business 10 years. If my fucking accountant isn't writing off the fucking maximum, like, I'm like, just stop using all these loaded words to try to get me to donate. Like,
it's like,
and sometimes they're like 3 paragraphs, and I'm like, get to the point. I don't even like reading emails. You know, just say, I need a gift card, please. You know, like,
for sure.
I'd be more apt to respond to that at this point. You know?
No doubt. You said that you're like in a lot of different spots, like in the restaurant. Like right now, you're the prep person, but like, where is your favorite place to be?
My favorite place is probably running the pizza ovens on a Friday night. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it because I love when I like when someone is like, "Oh, we can't do this." I'm like, "Well, hold my beer." You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I like. I like running the ovens or stretching pizzas. Those are probably my favorite things. This is going to be really fucked up to say. I hate making the pizza dough. I'm just like, you know what it is? It's when I go into the restaurant, there's so much, I'm like, oh, I got to fix that. That's leaking. And, oh, I have to blow out that compressor. And so my mind goes to 10 different spots that I feel like I'll actually not give the dough its due diligence.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll skip a stretch and fold or something like that. So, you know, that's why I have Bayer, the dough god. Bayer makes incredible dough, and it's really nice to have somebody that has like the same dough knowledge, maybe even more dough knowledge than me. So, yeah, my brain is too scattered. I feel like that's why I'm not good at making dough right now.
Do you feel like that's why you are good at running the oven? Because like it does require you to be so attentive to everything. Like you almost like can't be scattered. Like you have to be able to like
You're just going.
multitask and like know where everything is at, but it requires so much focus.
Well, and it's really nice to get that final fermentation out of the. It's, the pizza launching in the oven, hitting that hearth is the final fermentation. So there's a lot going on there. There's the smells. I can tell where the dough is at and how if you're having a good dough day, there ain't nothing like it. It's and I also it's like. There's stuff that I noticed that, a real long time customer, like my customer Tony would notice. He's been eating our pizza forever, but most customers wouldn't notice the little nuances and if it's perfect dough or not. But yeah, running the oven you're like a little mad scientist, and it's also, our kitchen is so tiny, and you have to be really tight and turning all the pizzas, and you got to really be in tune with what you're doing. There's no stopping. The moment you stop, you've probably burnt a pie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just nonstop action, which I love.
Yeah.
And I loved it from the moment I walked into a Pizza Shoals when they were like, "You can't run those ovens." I was like, "I can do it. I might be short, but I can get on my tippy toes, and." I'd never, and working with an electric oven, it's not as hot. Well, it could be. It's different than a wood-fired oven, but an electric oven, we're cooking at about 650 degrees.
Yeah.
And you've got you've got so many elements that are firing at the same time. You're essentially getting the effect of a wood-fired oven. But when you hesitate or you don't know what you're doing, you fall behind,
Yeah.
So you got to pay attention to what you're doing, and you can't really hesitate, if you will.
Right,
It's just like launching the pizzas in. You can't really hesitate or you're going to mess up, And running the ovens on a Friday night. We're open from 4 to 9 for dinner, and we're probably going to do about, let's say, 5,000. It's nonstop of just turning and hopefully not burning,
Absolutely.
And then reading tickets. I get so pissed off when we have this one customer who orders this pizza modified in all these crazy ways, and I'm always like, why the fuck does this guy even order? He wants a light bake, triple sauce, triple cheese, double cut. He's paying like $50 for this crazy custom pie, but he loves us, and so I've just learned to make the pizza the way he wants. I'm like, I don't know why you should just go to Papa John's, but here we are, sir.
Yeah. Pizzicato was like my first entry point into running an oven like that. Like my previous pizza experience was just like conveyor oven style, and I remember being pretty intimidated by that oven. But then when I started getting put on the oven, I took such pride in whenever I was on shift there, Friday and Saturday nights, they're like, "You're an oven guy." And I was just
dude, that's huge.
I was just like, fuck yeah. And then just learning to love it and being like, this is so great. I don't know. There's something really exciting about it, and being able to handle.
Yeah.
I love the pressure of
Yeah.
a busy rush,
Yeah.
Whether I'm topping the pizza or stretching dough.
Absolutely.
But to run ovens is
that's not easy.
It's another, it's a whole different thing. And I just I started to take a lot of pride in being called upon to
as
do it.
you should. The oven guy, person, whatever. When I was at Vancouver Pizza Company, you got an extra $15 if you ran the ovens on Friday night.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. Well, but, this
extra
was
tip pool.
this was 1999.
Yeah.
So, that was a big deal. But I was the only girl that could run the ovens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love it. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like working in a busy pizzeria.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah. What are you stoked about right now as far as the restaurant? How do you feel about things currently?
I feel really good. I'm I actually just hired Mark as a manager who was the manager with me when we were at a Pizza Shoals together. So it's kind of cool. Like, he worked there way long. Like, he left and then went back to a Pizza Shoals and blah, blah, blah. But I got my dude back that we, like, both probably fell in love with pizza at a Pizza Shoals together. Mark was a longtime friend of Brian and Kim, who own a Pizza Shoals. I think they went to school together. So it's cool to have him in the restaurant. I also just lost Rosie. She's going to come back in some aspect, but she is doing treatment to, fight cancer right now.
Yeah.
And so I lost probably the most important, vital person in my restaurant. And it's, the crew's a little down too because, she's sick.
Yeah.
And also, like, she's just a freaking joy to be around. She's, like, 360. You talk about somebody coming in and learning every position. That's Rosie. And also someone who can, like, have real conversations and, like, been able to take my feedback, my criticism, my, how I want stuff done and really, like, just been real about it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of at a transitional period right now where, like, Rosie was going to become, like, the general manager, and I'm not going to hire another. Like, you can't hire somebody that does what Rosie did. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't just bring someone in who has the respect of everyone.
Right.
And I've done that before, and everybody hated me, and I learned my lesson. Like, when I said
It's
I'm
tough.
not allowed to hire, I meant it. So, yeah, I think that we're just, like, we're in a really good spot. We're really trying to pay attention to, like, the little details. I just did a little tweak of our dough, so hopefully switching some flour ratios will make the dough a little more crispy.
Yeah.
Every new lot of flour is like a new chapter. It's not going to react the same way, so you're changing your dough probably every 4 months at least, if you know what you're doing. Just little tweaks.
Yeah.
It could even just be like the amount of refrigeration it gets or something like that. But I feel, man, I'm really excited for spring and to just, we just got a new soft serve machine, so we're getting our twist back.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty fucking cool. When we first got the soft serve machine, this fucker talked me into, like, getting, like, the Dairy Queen 5000, like, this fucking thing. And they sold us a machine that actually, it never worked. It had problems, but they were like, well, we think it's operator error. And I'm like, bro, I don't think it's operator error. And then finally they took the machine back and apologized, but not before they acted like I was just, like, some crazy girl, like, who didn't know how to use a soft serve machine. And we got this little baby soft serve machine, so now we're upgrading back to the twist. So
Okay.
It's kind of a big deal.
Hell yeah.
Having soft serve is, they just don't let everyone have a Taylor soft serve machine. It's kind of a cult.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I'm excited. The president of the company was like, whatever I have to do to not talk to you again, I'll do it. I was just like, okay, man, I'm just trying to get a machine that works. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about summer. I'm just excited to use the patio again and to have customers be in a good mood again. I do have a handful of customers who don't still dine indoors.
Okay.
They're still very COVID conscious, so it'll be nice to have the patio open again. And I have one customer I'm making a special VIP table for that I'm excited for, that I didn't get to last year. Just all those little things, when I have time to, like, redecorate and do something like that, I really am just like, all right, this is a cool place to be in your restaurant journey,
Yeah.
I think other than that, I'm just excited to get out of this winter and just, I don't know. I've got some new menu things up our sleeve. I've got a chicken Caesar pita wrap that I'm pretty excited to debut.
I'm excited to try it. I'm pretty skeptical about any wrap,
Oh, hell yeah. I love it.
I usually think they kind of suck.
Yeah, I agree. I know.
Unless it's a gyro. Like, I feel like gyros maybe like the exception, and that's not like a true wrap either. But like, I don't know. Why the fuck does there always have to be so much like extra tortilla at the bottom of a wrap? You know?
I don't know. I want to make mine. I'm going to make the pita bread.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a little pita. You know, basically anything I create, I feel like is from the past of smoking and drinking in college. Right. So
All right.
I used to go to the pita pit in college, and I'd get the chicken Caesar pita wrap, and so
All right.
that's what I'm recreating. But,
Tapping into nostalgia.
yeah, and so even the hoagie, I used to go to this place called Blimpies in high school.
I know about Blimpies.
And I was like trying to recreate that, you
Yeah.
know, with the tavern pie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recreate that old school cracker.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, that shit took me a year to like even get anything like good, semi good, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, just we'll make you a chicken Caesar pita wrap lover.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think your food is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I really like love the environment, like the vibe inside. Like, I think you've
Thank
done like
you.
a really nice job of like making it feel like a cool place inside, and especially now with like the small touches of like those Pizza Hut lamps. I don't know, it just feels like really nice in there.
Thank you. One of these days, we're gonna get rid of those IKEA bar stools. I'm gonna have something really, really cushiony, you know. And all those chairs came free with the restaurant.
Okay.
So, you know, so I sometimes I like go into someone else's restaurant. They'll have done a build out, and I'm just like, man, when are you guys gonna start making money on this place? Like, no shit. Like, I've had friends do like a $500K build out, and I'm just like, you got 5 investors, and it's just like, I don't know about any of that. I've never actually even done a build out. I actually, when I opened up this place, opened up without getting permits. So the first place I bought a pizzeria, right? I can open up as a pizzeria next day if I wanted to, right? But the other place that I bought was a Bavarian pretzel place, and I just 3 months cleaned it out and then opened up, and the health department came and they were like, well, you were supposed to ask for like 3 different permits. And I was like, oh shit, well, I mean, I got all my hand washing stations, say less, you know? And the health inspect, you know, he let it slide.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't trying to get a fast one on anybody. I was just going about my business and thought I could just reopen up. So, whoopsie.
Also, when I came in there like last month or whatever, and got food. I brought my friend Andrew, who I would say is like maybe one of my snobbiest food friends.
Okay.
And he was so hyped on the food, but he's texted me at least once or twice and been like, dude, I fucking ordered that tavern style pizza like once a week now.
Oh, hell
like
yeah.
it's like
Thank you.
heavy in the rotation.
Thank
He's
you.
like, this pizza's fucking awesome.
I'm glad that it's still selling well. We used to do like a little pan pie,
Okay.
which we are going to bring back, but they never quite took off in the way that the tavern pies have taken off.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I love the tavern pizza. It just reminds me of being, you know, you just won the soccer championships. You're going to round table, and your best friend just dumped a shit ton of salt in your soda, and you don't know it yet, you know?
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for being down to talk. Like,
Yeah, thank you.
A
This has been
pleasure
a
to get
pleasure.
to know you through this conversation, and big
Thank
fan of what you're doing, and I'll
Thank
definitely
you.
put all the links in the episode notes so people can keep up with Red Sauce.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll keep you posted if we bring back the pan pie, so you can check that out.
All right.
And the chicken Caesar pita
Hell
wrap.
yeah. Hell yeah. Shar, we end every episode of the podcast with the guest saying the tagline for the show, which is, it's a program, and it means absolutely nothing. It's just the way that my grandfather says the word program. He always says program.
Program.
So if we could get the Red Sauce pizza, it's a program, we can properly sail this thing out. You can deliver it however you would like. It's the one time I'll ask you to look into that camera right
Wait,
there.
so what do I say?
You just say it's a program.
It's a program.
She nailed it, everybody. That's Shar. Links for red sauce
was
will be in
pressure
the
right there.
episode notes. You're good under pressure.
Sometimes yes and sometimes no, you know, but I hide it well. A lot of people always say that I'm calm, cool, and collected, but I actually have quite a bit of anxiety under here.
Yeah,
So.
I hear you. I hear you. Also, fucking 10 years of doing red sauce. Like, that's fucking awesome. That's so
Thank
incredible.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so thankful to be here and to own my own business and to be just a good example for the community.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Red Sauce Pizza, everybody. Go check it out.
Check it out.
That's the Jelly Jams. Links will be in the episode notes, and we will catch you on the flip side, Portland, or wherever you are listening from.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
That was great. We did it.